good day to everyone listening to us. Welcome back to our podcast, CSO Chat with Ladies. So today we're going to be treating the topic how a woman can regain herself in the midst of family pressures.
Family.
So yes, how you can get
Yeah,
yourself back on
that's good.
track as a woman. So that's what we're going to be doing it today. And in the studio with me, as usual, is my co-host
Hi everyone, my name is Sophie. Nice seeing everybody again.
and our very own PSO.
Hello, my name is Shebo Diebo. People call me PSO.
So the first question on the table is that how can a woman find herself in the midst of all the responsibilities as a wife,
Okay.
as a mother, as anything else that she is in the family? So,
And can I put a sorry before you say, can I put a scenario into that so
Please
you
go
help
ahead.
you? Okay.
Stop scenario.
I know, sorry, I'm too practical. All right, so there's this I'm thinking that okay, you've given yourself so much into this marriage and children and everything, and all of a sudden you just discover that it's 8 years into life. And then you're wondering what have I done with my life? What is life?
Childbirth.
So we're coming from that perspective of how do I find myself again?
I quite get you. One of the things we must all admit, and the society must greatly admit, is the fact that women go through a lot of pressure, especially in marriage. When you get married, there's a lot of demand from the man, the man's family. There's some additional demand from friends, demand from neighbors, demand from the society at large. Then if children comes in, another demand. And if they are not there, another demand. You know, and all of this exact pressure on the mind of a woman. And the danger is that just like the woman will lose her name to her husband, the woman can actually lose her identity in marriage because the too many pressures are demanding you to be somebody you may not actually be, asking you to act out who you are not. As a woman, you're expected to be nice to everybody that's your in-law. You're expected to grow up and then be able to bear pressure. Everybody can throw trash at the woman. The family of the woman are careful to throw trash on the man.
Okay.
But the family of the man, they're not careful to throw trash on the woman. And you're expected to absorb all of that, especially in this part of the world, Africa. And so the tendencies are very high that the woman gets into the waters of life and then she's just like, where am I? Who am I? And all of that. So let's first acknowledge that the reality is that happens. And we must not underplay that issue because many women have actually lost themselves completely that they never recover. And they die never becoming who they should become. And then you hear some women say, well, the remaining will be done by my children. Or you hear a woman say, I only live for my children. In as much as I encourage women to give their best to their children, I get irritated when I hear a woman say, I live for my children. That's not true. Your children, they've come to live their life. You must live your life. Then you give life out of your life to your children. And if you're not really living your life, you cannot give life to your children. Jesus asked us to love our neighbor as ourselves. So it means that if you don't love yourself, you cannot love your neighbor at the maximum level.
Okay.
Because if you are going to give me something, then you must have it in abundance. So if you don't love yourself, you cannot give me love, true love, that will empower me. So I want to encourage every woman to actually find themselves. Do everything within your power to ensure that you find yourself. And that starts with you being able to keep touch with your real inner self, asking yourself, who am I?
Yes.
Who am I? Who am I?
Yes.
What am I here for? What makes me unique? What's my like they say in business parlance, what's my unique selling point?
Okay.
What's my unique potentials and capabilities? What are the things that are of interest to me? Where's my passion?
Yeah.
You must be able to ask yourself those important personal questions and give yourself answers that are personal to you, not from the angle of comparing yourself with your husband's friend's wife. Some women, their husband will come and say, I can't you see my friend's wife the way she does, blah, blah, blah. You're not, if you are wrong, you cannot be Arika at the same time, except that's how your parents name you. But you cannot be, you can't be somebody else, just try to find yourself so that you can be yourself. And that takes a lot of inner reflection. And sometimes if a woman cannot do that, she might probably need somebody to guide. And that's why, on this show, I recommend a lot most of the time that sometimes there may be need for a professional, a therapist to actually help you to see, these are areas that you need to pay attention to.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. So, can you like give us a practical step on how to do these things? Like, how do I find myself? The technical know-how. How do I do it? Yes.
Okay, I can't give the full, but I can just give some tips. Just like I mentioned, you want to first, if a woman finds herself in that situation, first thing that she needs solitude. She needs a time out with herself where she does inner reflection.
Okay.
You sit by yourself and you all by yourself, and you're asking yourself, what's the essence of my existence? Why have I been created? What purpose do I serve? And because I believe so strongly in our spiritual nature, it becomes necessary that the woman must ask in prayer, seek the face of God in prayer, talk to God in prayer to illuminate. Because there's a dimension of you that you cannot know except God reveals to you.
Okay.
So you want God to give you that the eureka moment where there's that flash of light and you just know that yeah, this is about me. But aside from God actually giving you such eureka moment, there are signs that providence live in life in terms of you will find what people talk about you, the kind of potential that you have. That's your natural talent, your natural giftings that God has given to you. For some people, they can talk. For example, the two of you now, talking comes to you naturally. Yes, even though Tosin, when somebody first meets you, a part of you just feels like, oh, but but it's there, it's just naturally there, Okay, so you want to find out what are those things that I'm naturally gifted that I'm not forcing myself to do, but they are just there. They might be repressed, but they're there. What are the things that take my interest? I seem to just be interested in it. Whenever they talk about it, I feel interested in it. You want to also ask a question like, what are the things that I have experienced in life, the exposures I've had? Because sometimes your exposure and experiences in life, they're part of your training to be able to discharge. And I don't know how God has done it, but there is a way Providence has wired it that what you go through in life, your mother died, you have to live with an uncle, there's an auntie that maltreated you, you have to carry these and all of that. They are technically life structure in positioning you for where you're going.
Okay.
Check any great man, great woman, you will see something in their background that brought them to where they are. And so you want to explore your background and ask questions and the things that you have experienced in life and all of that. Now, by the time you reflect on all of these things, you will find a pattern will begin to become crystal clear in your mind. A pattern that will show you that, okay, the way this thing is going, it looks as if, the consistent pattern will be coming. And then you also hear people say, talk about the ways your life touched them, the way you come across to them. Because there's something about our lives that's like a stamp of impact on other people that we meet. And so when you add all of this thing together, it becomes easier for you to be able to identify yourself. And then in some instances, you may now need a professional career counselor to be able to probably help you put some finishing touches to the rough edges.
Okay. All right. So what comes to mind is that I'm trying to imagine this woman. There's no way you feel that you have a sense of loss, like you are lost, that you will not be depressed. There's no way that you would have that sense and you would not have some mental health effect.
Okay.
So the question is, how do I navigate that how do I come out of that depressed state and jumpstart, so to say, my life again?
Well, let me help you amplify it this way. People get into that depressed state, especially when they are going through that internal struggle of trying to find themselves. They are lost, but you don't want to accept that you are lost, but there's a struggle inside that you are lost.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, nobody around you is helping you to serve as compass, guiding compass, to help you regain direction. After a while, you get angry with yourself, then you get angry with everybody, you get angry with things, and then you get to a point you probably lose taste. Because it's a dangerous state to be where you can't find yourself. You can't really say this is me, but you're just rolling through the motions and all that. So that's I agree, will exert pressure on the mental state of a person and probably bring the person down. When a person is in depressed state, that person probably needs help.
Okay.
Because when you are in a depressed state, you may not be able to effectively get yourself out without being helped. So you probably might need a counselor, you probably might need a psychologist to speak to be able to help you out and gain some mental balance. But aside from what the professional will do, I will also recommend some vacation. Just get out, just get out, play away, get into places that can inspire you, just get into environments that can. That's why some people, part of therapy sometimes is to ask some people to go to the beach or probably get to a relaxation center environment where you just sit down and you watch inspiring things, watch people. You just get off from the pressure. Now, if the woman is having children and all of that, those are the time to look for somebody to do the child minding. So that because sometimes also being immersed in the world of children in itself is a pressure. And so those are times you need somebody to help you take care of those children. And I'm speaking to you, men, if you find your wife in such situation and all that, those are the times to help get the children off, get somebody to mind the children, and then you take the woman somewhere where she just can cool off and then the mind can reset. Because there's a measure of cooling off that our mind needs to be able to reset to focus properly.
Thank you very much, sir. So I want to paint the scenario now. Let's say the woman is able to, dissect and get herself, this is who I am. I'm going off track, stuff and things like that. How does she balance these things? Being a mother, being a wife, being a career woman, all those things. How does she balance them? So as one will not outweigh the other, and one is not going to affect.
And become overwhelmed.
Yeah, I'm doing too much.
Thank you for that question. A married woman probably needs to discuss with her husband. Because that's where I believe that men need to play a significant role in helping their wives. Okay, when she probably is able to discuss with the man the pressure she's going through, and this is a very good point to say to men. If you're a woman watching me now, you can ask your husband to listen to this piece. Every man needs to see where you need to help your wife. I'll give you an example. There was a season in my family that I had to take care of the feeding of the children, because I found out that it was pressure for my wife to feed them and then accept. So I had to step in to be able to help her to feed the children. There was a season I had to step into the general play with the children, just making them have fun. Because I found out that, when they now come and want to play with my wife, she can get edgy because she wants to cook, she wants to do this, and then as a doctor, she comes back from office, she's doing everything. So I saw that pressure can be there. Yeah, I'm also busy, but what I now do is to say, okay, when I come back home, I get them off her back, and then they play with me. We do pillow, we throw pillow, we play, we laugh, we chat, back. They jump on me, and then before you know what it is, they are tired, and they put the ground. So men need to a great extent help their wives, so that you can take away the pressure. And this is, so if the first thing I'm saying is that there should be a discussion between the husband and wife, emotional interaction, so that the husband can see, okay, now at this point I need to come in for this woman to be able to help, especially when she's a career woman, not a full-time housewife. She needs that help. But in cases where that help cannot be provided by the man, because there are some men who do not stay at home, they travel, or they live in different locations or thereabout. And then there might be need to find other people to assist, either on a short time, part-time basis or a full-time basis, to assist to fill in the gap. The honest truth is that there is no woman that can really be the macho. You have 3 children, you want to be the one doing the cooking, you want to be the one doing the cleaning, you want to be the one doing the school runs, and then you still have a career to go after, you have to wash, you are going to just kill that woman. So there's need for a balance. And no, you see, that's the life. But you see, you find out that abroad, there are times they will ask either of the two to fill in the gap.
Yes, that's
It's not permitted, at least I know of UK, both father and mother are not permitted to leave the house leaving the children.
oh sure.
Somebody will have
that's
to
true.
take.
Yes.
So in some instances, some women, some couple will say, okay, you woman say do all the care minding, let me take care of the workspace, and then I provide all the money. If it works for them that way. In some instances, they will say, okay, you do morning job, I do evening job, and then we swap, and then we swap the care of the children. Okay. So, but you see, the common scenario you have in Nigeria is that they both go to work, but I expect you to do everything. And all that. And that's why I'm saying that there must be a need for them to talk about it. And then, if the man cannot physically do the job, there was a time I could not physically do some of the major jobs. I was still doing some, but some of the major jobs I could not physically do them. And I saw that my wife had a lot to do, and then she still had to combine that with her career, and her career was quite demanding and all that. So I had to get people to assist that I had to pay so that can make the job easy. There must be that balance of helping each other.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So coming to balance, and we're still on balance.
Yeah.
Our society now. Let's leave UK, please. Let's come to Nigeria.
All right.
It is like
Nigerian to be.
yes, like it is expected for a woman, according to Nigerian culture, to be the mother, the wife,
The
the
cook,
cooker,
the
the cleaner, the everything of the house. They say that's the job of a wife. Like they're meant to do.
Well, I think I've had that over and over again, and on the two sides, I think on the side of those who believe that way, I think there's a problem. On the side of women who revolt or resist, there's a problem, and the problem is in the issue of definition.
okay.
The woman is the homemaker.
All right.
She's the chief in command of the home front, but she's not necessarily the forewoman who does all the job of four people.
Okay.
She's a foreman, not four. Are you understand? She's a supervisor. She's the one to actually decide the direction of how the home runs, but not necessarily meant to be the one doing all the jobs. And I'll give an example. If you read this, the account of the virtuous woman in the Bible, Proverbs,
Okay, that one.
you will see that the Bible talk about people who work with her.
Yes.
Yeah. We were not told she did everything herself. She plans them, she organizes them, she decides what should be where.
Okay.
But not necessarily she's the one doing everything. And what the society have come to expect from women most of the time is wicked. When you expect the woman to be the superwoman who does everything, she does the cleaning, she does the sweeping, she does the washing, she does, and all that. And then you have 4 children, and then the man see like ballet. I used to be like that when I first got married, until I got an elderly man who actually helped me to see that life cannot work like that. If the woman is a full-time housewife, maybe it's a slightly different ballgame. But she has a career she needs to pursue. She has the man that work. She has target. And in the place of work today, nobody tells you that because you're a woman, they're not going to give you target. They're not going to give you a job to do. Okay, so, and then the 2 of you will come back home, and then you expect her to do all the cooking, all the washing, all the children minding, all the assignments of the children. That would be completely wicked. But she can be in charge. I tell people, my own, for example, my wife is she's the commander in chief. She said, okay, this has to be done, that cannot be done. Even if she tells me where to sit, okay, you cannot sit in this place. This is where you can sit. And okay, if that's how you want the house to be arranged, fine. That's power delegation. Everybody having his own authority where they belong. So if you see from the perspective of the woman controls what should happen, well, I agree. But if you are coming from the angle of the fact that the woman must do all those things, then there is problem. And I have a challenge. That's why I said some women, they resent because, no, I cannot be doing everything. They won't be responsible. No, in their own, it's like you want to abdicate responsibility. It's the responsibility of the woman to make the home, keep the home, not necessarily to do everything.
Okay.
But it's our responsibility to think through it and say, okay, this should be here, this should not be here, and all that.
Okay, so I think that's enough clarity in that. Because I feel like they expect you as if you are a wife, they are a wife. Like wife is like a responsibility, like wife. Like everything that happens in that house is the wife all the time. So I think that is the aspect I wanted you to help us to clarify on. Okay. So
Oh, okay, so I realized that some of the questions or some of the suggestion and tips you gave is seeking therapy, getting help.
yeah.
What if there is no financial backing? Where the husband does not have money for to pay for therapy session, or even get help. So what does woman do? Does not have good money to get help? Like because from your perspective of help, I'm thinking maybe get someone in to do the cleaning. Okay, okay, all right. Like so it's like somebody like I won't say a maid, but someone that will help run things so that the woman can have time to dream again. Yeah. Okay. So what if there's no financial resources to back that house? All right. Now, if there's no financial resources, I started with the fact that the couple must sit down to talk. And particularly the woman must initiate it. Let me help you to see this, and I hope all the women are hearing me will get this. There are certain things, especially when it comes to homekeeping, there are certain pressure you face as a woman that unless you say it 100 times, the man has not had it. Because what happens is that the way the mind of an average African man is wired is that what are you complaining about? That's your job. And so you have to find creative way of saying this thing tells on your mental health. Mm-hmm. You have to find a creative way. Sometimes you might need to get probably a mentor involved, probably your spiritual leader involved, somebody that your husband can respect and listen to, and then find a way of expressing to that person how you feel. Because I must be honest with you, I've been there before, so I know what it is. Let me paint a scenario. When I first got married, and then my wife and I will leave the house around 8 o'clock. My wife will boil the water, I'll bath, and all that. She does some small washing quickly in the morning. Good enough, we don't eat, so it wasn't a more problem. And then we go, then we come back in the evening. She finished from work, she comes to meet me in my office, and in my office till 9, 10, and then we get back home together, and then I get to the shower bath. My wife is in the kitchen. She quickly enter the kitchen. She's cooking. As she's cooking, she's getting her clothes to wash so that we can prepare for work the next day. And then I carry my book and, I come to the sitting room and then I sit like the Lord of the Ring, cross my leg and I'm expecting the food to come. And then one day she just broke down in tears and said, "You don't love me. You don't love me." And I'm like, "What are you saying? I don't really understand what you are saying." Say, "You leave me alone." I say, who else should be in the kitchen? It's you that should be in the kitchen. And I was be honest with you, I didn't understand it until we got to my disciple at that time, God, my blessed memory, Professor Kayode Adeshogo. And then when we discussed with this, my mentor, he laughed and then looked at me and said, "It's amazing how men repeat history." He said, I was once like you. But you see, thank God that we found help quite early, because that was just about less than a year into our marriage. And so the help came in on time, and then we could actually recalibrate. So I'm saying that as a woman, because you have said it first time, second time, the man is not listening, third time, I've said it 10 times, the man is not listening. No. You now have to find creative way of presenting it again. Look for somebody that you can talk to, who can help explain to him. Because the unfortunate thing is that with us men, we don't really understand, because we are not you women, we are not you, except somebody who have experienced. If I've not experienced it now, I would not have known how this thing pinches. For most men who have not had first-hand experience, they don't really know. They don't see it. We are so logical. Okay, I grew up with a mother. If you grew up with a mother, your mother is everything, carries this, carries that, and all that. You just want to say, you are a lazy woman. What are you talking about? And all of that. So there is a need for the woman to creatively explain to the man, not with a fight, not harassing the man, because again, the way some of you women do it is that you now come and say, you just leave me alone. And a man doesn't like you pull the guilt trip. Okay. If you pull the guilt trip on a man, he just feels that you want to be emotional on him, and then he flares up. But you can find a better creative way of helping him to see, honey, this thing is telling on my health, this thing is taking a toll on me, and all of that. If he doesn't understand, you find somebody more mature to discuss with, so that helps him to be able to gain perspective. Until a man gains perspective, he does not help you.
Okay. Thank you. When we talk about life experiences, how we grow up, you've been saying something like that is in our making, like how we grow up, life experiences. Like you watch your mother do all the chores, she doesn't have a life of her own. You watch your sisters do the same thing, and then you now want to be the one to now start to be thinking of yourself.
But don't forget that in the African society, in the past, most women are housewives.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying now? And so it was normal for them to do everything because the homekeeping now is a job. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a full-time job.
Unpaid job.
Well, you said so. But it's a full-time job. Okay? But in today's world, because again, culture is dynamic. Even then, it's not every woman that was like that. You still have some women who are merchants, who are great merchants and all that. Women who are great merchants, in those days, they had slaves. They had helps in the house. And none of the husband expected them to do all of those things. So what they had is that the slaves do some of those things. We expect of future time, we know have to go and be the one to be cooking for you. And what kind of food would you cook for you? You know, I mean, and a host of other women like that. Or is it Fela's mother? I mean, the remote, not too far distance past. That is it Fela's mother that you expect, Madam Funmilayo Kuti, that you expect to come and be doing those things. They had a retinue of people who serve in their house, who do one or two things. They are generalissimo, who command, okay, yeah, that basket should not be there, this one should be there, that one should not be there. So they are in charge of the house, but they are not necessarily doing everything. So in those days, there are women who did everything because they were housewives. So if you grew up with a mother who was an housewife, who did everything, you know, you might be tempted to think that is the way to go. But the honest truth is that it will tell on the health if care is not taken.
Oh, yes, it does.
It will tell on the health.
All right. Okay. So,
Do you have any kind of scenarios that you want to paint?
This is scenario. This is my scenario.
no, I think I'm good.
Okay, well, we are good. Fine,
Yeah.
no problem. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. We spoke about how a woman can find herself even in the midst of the family pressure, and then PS was able to help us shed light to how a woman is supposed to be in control and not actually doing everything in the family. So till next time.
Well, I'd like to hear a parting shot. If you are listening to us as a woman,
All right.
just know that you have a duty to yourself to discover yourself, find yourself. Don't be lost in the midst of the everyday activity. Don't be lost in the petty activities of the day. You know, get to find yourself. There's more to you than homekeeping. There's more to you than wiping up diapers and then cooking and all of that. There are many other aspects of you that you need to find and give expression to. And in case you need help, you might actually need to get the help of a professional. Incidentally, that's what we do. You get some information under the screen about what we do as a counselor and psychologist.
And can you talk to the men too, please? The husbands.
Oh yeah. If you're a man and listen to us, it's important that you know that your wife has more on the inside. Help your woman to discover herself. Help her to be able to develop herself and deploy herself. Because there's more to your wife than just homekeeping.
Yes.
Help your wife know that they have something to offer that the world is looking for. Otherwise, they will be lost in the midst of general home care.
Okay, so today PSO is saying there's more to a woman
Than just keeping.
So thank you. Till next time, please comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time. For now, bye.
Bye.